Hello, ladies and gentlemen, dude and dudettes. I am Matt Burns, and with me, as always, is none other than JB.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's just say, almost every week we keep saying we've got a lot to talk about. We've got a lot to talk about. It's just
Yeah,
becoming
and
the
then
normal.
we say with the best intentions in the world, we're going to talk about this week, and then that gets blown
Scrapped.
out of the water faster than you can honestly say. Well, we didn't see that coming, did we?
It's almost like you could say it come out of nowhere.
I kind of grudgingly see what you did there.
Yeah, sorry.
But so today is one of them. Whatever we might have said we were going to talk about last week, we're probably not, to be fair, because we've got enough else to be getting on with.
Unfortunately, we did originally have some topics that we were going to be covering. We are going to be at least covering one of the topics, but it's going to be, when I mean briefly, I mean it's going to be a speed run through.
Literally as fast as we can do it.
So, at this moment in time, would you care to do the audio disclaimer, please?
The following broadcast may contain references and language not suitable for younger viewers or those of a sensitive disposition. It may also contain occasional language and references not suitable for other people. And, in the time-honoured tradition of the Burning Truth, this broadcast may also contain strobe lighting effects.
Okay, yep, and additionally, some of the topics that we may actually discuss may actually be may not be actual, just be giving factual news. Big chunks of it may also contain some interesting opinions.
Which we will try and stress beforehand on each occasion, but there'll probably be opinions over facts because,
Additionally,
we can only tell you what we know.
Additionally, before we even got on the air, we've gone through the list of so many news, and just as we start this episode, my head instantly thinks of an additional news.
Oh, joy. Right, well, I'll tell you what, since we haven't said what any of the others are yet, make a quick note of it and tack it on. And let's get started with what we need to do, but we didn't cover last week.
Basically, we're just going to be going through the WWE greatest wrestling match ever, Backlash results, and how we did on the predictions.
Yes.
Now, originally,
in predictions news. Oh, sorry, go on.
We normally go through this very, very, very slowly, methodically, going through each one. I'm just going to run down the actual results card and explain how we did.
Okay.
I know it feels very rushed. Unfortunately, it's got to be this way. Right, here we go. Matches are Apollo Crews defeated Andrade with Angel Garza and Zelina Vega. Singles match for the WWE United States Championship, which was pre-show. Then they open up
with
the main.
A little help from Kevin Owens.
Yep, they actually had the main show starting up with Bayley and Sasha Banks defeating Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, and the Iconics, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, which was a triple threat tag team for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Woo! Then we moved on to the Sheamus defeating Jeff Hardy in a singles match, which I will say hang on, why is that match went on for almost 16 to 17 minutes?
I mean, fair play to them, they carried it off, but surely that match could have maybe gone 12, and the triple threat women's tag match could have gone 12 or 13 as well.
A little bit, yeah, made it even. Then we had Asuka versus Nia Jax, ended in a double count out. Singles match for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. Is everything okay?
My apologies. That horrible, deafening thunderclap was one sheet of paper falling from the pinboard above my microphone onto the top of my microphone. So no damage was done whatsoever. But if anyone does now need new trousers, I completely understand. Right, moving on.
It sounded like you fell through the roof.
Yeah, it was literally one sheet of A4 paper falling from the top of the pinboard about 2 feet above onto the microphone.
Oh my good lord, that is just absolutely
hilarious.
It
was not the fallout from the RKO in the main event.
Oh dear.
Anyway, where were we?
Moving on. Sheamus defeated Jeff Hardy, and then we had Asuka versus Nia Jax in the double countout, which was a singles match for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. Then we moved on from there to Braun Strowman defeating Miz and Morrison in a 2-on-1 handicap match for the WWE Universal Championship.
Ultimate predictability, but there you go.
Which was 7 minutes and about 7 minutes. Then you had Drew McIntyre defeating Bobby Lashley with MVP. Singles match for the WWE Championship, which was due to Lana possibly getting involved in somehow.
Yep, costing Lashley at the end. And then we didn't have the Viking Raiders against the Street Profits, because instead there was a WWE cinematic random what the hell was happening skit that also featured, what's his name, Akira Tozawa. It was very random. It was very strange. Sorry?
And ninjas?
Yes. It was very odd, very strange, but as a result, they all bin dived into a massive skip, and the match took place the next week.
Pretty much.
So that was a no contest. And then the main event,
which
was it the greatest wrestling match ever? No. Did it go nearly an hour? Yes.
It went to supposedly 44
minutes,
45.
45 seconds, allegedly, but I maintain it was at least 10 minutes longer than that.
Now, the difference is...
felt like 10 hours longer than that.
Yeah. The difference is some people say it was a good match, and it was to some people. Now, the problem is with this match is, in that actual match, one of the opponents ended up getting a bit injured.
Yes.
Which was Edge, unfortunately. And before you even panic, no, it wasn't head injury.
No, we're quite pleased to report it was nothing to do with his head or his neck or anything which caused him to have to retire 9 years ago, so that was a relief.
It was his arm.
Yes, but nonetheless, was it a great wrestling match? Yes. Was it the greatest wrestling match ever? No. Not even in the top 100, but that's what you get when you build stuff up like that.
But still,
we should know this by now.
True, but still, you've got to give Edge and Orton credit for actually attempting.
They gave it everything they had, but I kind of guessed around about the 38 to 40 minute mark when Edge tried to pin Randy Orton after a rock bottom that they'd run out of ideas. Anyway, predictions. Somehow I managed to win, I think.
Yeah.
Just about. I think it was only by one, but yeah. Everyone's only ever by one.
But then again, I think that was due to the fact that I believe we hadn't picked that many differences, and it makes me laugh even more.
Go on.
The additional prediction I put in, which was the tag match, didn't even end up happening.
Yeah, it would have been a tie probably had that happened.
No, but the difference is I actually discounted that anyway.
Oh, I see.
Because you were unable to.
Yes, it was unable to take place because they were all lying in a very large skip full of, the performance centre's waste. Let's be brutally honest here.
Right. Moving on.
Let us move on to the more recent things that aren't the pay-per-view from 2 weeks ago's results.
Right, correct. Now, let's move on to our occasional mention. That we are still stating that the Burning Truth does still support Black Lives Matter and will continue to do so. We just thought we'd mention it. As we stated, we would mention it at least once a week. And a lot of people are probably saying, you could probably just automate this. No, there's no point, because we'd rather do it different each time. And
just so that you know that we're not just like sighing and pressing a button because we feel we have to. It's not that at all. We actually mean it. So keeping it fresh every week, we hope, proves that.
Correct. And the offer still stands. Okay, so if anybody wants to know what offer we are referring to anybody who has been affected by, what has been the cause of the whole situation of Black Lives Matter in regards to it. If anyone has been affected by it, we have opened our platform for anybody who wants to voice their opinions.
Absolutely.
On top of that, we also don't just support Black Lives Matter. We also
are massively in favour of the whole speaking out movement,
which is
and likewise anyone who is involved in that as well. I think the platform should probably be open to them as well.
Yeah, anyone who has been,
because if we are going to do a program in future where we talk about it in depth, as it was pointed out to me by a very good friend of mine who is also sort of a peripheral in the wrestling industry.
Yep.
Hi, Kev, the GPW commentator. If we do it, ever have an in-depth conversation about it when all the dust has settled, might be an idea if we get a woman's perspective.
100%.
So the door is open if anyone wishes to be that as well.
100%. But all we're stating is, we're not just stating anyone who's been. It's weird. It's a bit of an unusual.
It's an odd one. It's not a case of if you maybe feel you want to speak out now, but you haven't yet. Don't get in contact with us as your first means of revelation or anything.
No.
But if your name is already out there and you're involved, and maybe you want to
discuss your feelings in regards to the movement, or saying how proud you are of it and everything, more than welcome to. However, if you are wanting to,
we'd rather you didn't come on to make fresh accusations. Let's put it that way.
Correct.
Because that's a legal field we just don't want to be involved in.
Correct. And at which point we would casually mention to you, please report this to
the relevant authorities in the relevant manner, in as timely a fashion as possible.
Correct.
As soon as you are comfortable to do so, obviously.
Correct.
Please, also, we have to state, don't feel you have to. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, by all means, for goodness sake, don't.
Correct.
Although, know that in the current situation, you will get a far more sympathetic ear than maybe you would have 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Not only that, there is certain people out there who have actually stated, if you can't speak out publicly, there are certain people who are more than willing to put out your story anonymously for you on your behalf.
Yes, which is a noble thing.
In case you're wondering, I can actually name two people of that.
What? Who might have benefited from that?
No, who will actually do it? Who will actually do it on their behalf?
Oh, you can actually name the people who will give the stories out on behalf of the. Okay, go on.
Yes, which is one of them is Miss Lucy Openshaw,
right,
and Leanne Marie.
Okay,
both of
these people,
massive advocates.
Yep,
and they have been absolutely vital in it. As much as everyone can turn around and say, well, the weird thing about it is, with this hashtag speaking out, there isn't just the female advocates either. There's also male advocates.
Absolutely.
As well. In case if anybody wants to know who the male advocates are, they're actually contracted to WWE.
There you go.
One of them being the Bruiserweight, Pete Dunne.
Yes.
Who has been absolutely vocal on certain things, and the next one, who has been an absolute savage on Twitter, Dan Maloney.
Yes.
Believe me when I say that some of the things he has been saying on there have been absolutely savage. However, he did release a video stating that he is young, wrestling is the only thing he has been capable of doing. Give him time. So, yes, these people will be there to help, but don't try to rush them. They are doing their very best with what's currently ongoing.
Yeah, which makes sense.
And 100%, I'm not sure about yourself, JB, but my heart goes out to the hard work that they have been putting in and the effort that they have been pouring out to get this sorted.
I see. Yeah, mine as well. Absolutely.
As much as possible. But I believe that Leanne Marie did state, in regards to it is both, and Miss Lucy Openshaw have both stated it is best to report it to the police instead of going out on social media, because if there are cases being built, they want it to be reported to police so evidence can be built up instead of it being released.
Yeah, rather than, putting it out straight into the public, which could skew the public's opinion in a way which may mean the case suffers fatally before it's even started. It's probably best if you do it in a private and legal way rather than in an attention-grabbing and public way.
At the same time...
We know that you want to speak out, but do it in a way that will actually have positive results, I think is what I'm trying to say.
But at the same time, we are not actively stating that you to zip up either. If you want, if you feel the need to still speak out, please do so. It is, it is because at the same time, the power of speaking out is not just the fact of you actually reporting it and everything. The fact that you are actually reporting the case, speaking out and not mentioning, you can speak out, but if you can protect details, at the same time, please do so. But speaking out does actually speak volumes for the fact that you're not just, it's not just helping yourself, it's potentially helping others who could be suffering in silence.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Now, originally we actually stated that we would be only mentioning certain things, certain details, anybody who's had certain allegations thrown against them. As such, we would not be releasing any information unless it was either publicly, responded to by said people, or ones who are being accused, the company that they work for, or the police directly.
I see.
And with that, we have got to officially state that for WWE, they have, I believe, there's been more 2 additional releases recently on WWE.
In WWE?
Yes. Or should we say members of the NXT UK roster?
Ah, there you go.
Which would be none other than Travis Banks and Ali Alligero.
Are both no longer part of the NXT UK roster.
And
is that correct?
They have been released.
Ah, cool.
They have been released effectively immediately. And a lot of people may have probably noticed, a bit like with Jack Gallagher, there is certain wording that is usually there, but is vitally missing, which makes it stand out even more. So.
The lack of wishing them well in their future endeavours, much.
Yeah. On top of that, because of certain speculation, and this part I will get to shortly. On top of that, we've had Mike Quackenbush, who's actually done a video in regards to his allegations where he addresses each allegation that has been thrown towards Mike Quackenbush and also Shakira Pro, and he addresses them directly and forthrightly. Now, as for in regards to our opinions on it, we cannot state our opinions on it because, sadly, we've not been able to. We've only just recently found out about this video recently and not been able to review it ourselves. So, as such, we can't actually provide our insights on it. However, if you wanted to hear his side of the story, there is a video out currently in regards to that, and we just thought we would just mention it, just in case, seeing as he has been accused and he has released that statement, and we can actually state this. On top of that, aside from that, and this bit is where I'm going to be. This is most likely going to be a bit of a segment that I'm going to call Rumour Corner, part of Rumour Corner, because we are not officially stating this as news.
Okay.
But there is an ongoing rumour around that there is possible talk, that there have been meetings repeatedly in regards to talks of NXT UK.
And
there has been talks of should they be getting rid of it, potentially, is the rumour now.
I would say that would be a hideous mistake, but I don't know.
Now, a lot of people are probably saying, why is this rumour going around? This could be potentially due to how many people who have been accused. And that is all we're saying. That is linked.
However, all I can say is NXT UK represents not just the UK,
correct,
but the whole of Europe, pretty much.
Correct.
And therefore, in amongst that population, there is a deep enough talent pool that WWE, it will be a slight hiccup, but even if WWE were to, and here I am naming no names whatsoever, but even if WWE were to take a zero tolerance policy and anyone who's had anything said about them in a negative light was to be released, there are plenty more fish in the sea. There are plenty of perfectly brilliant British and European wrestlers who could replace them, and I don't think the product would suffer.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Apologies for that.
Yeah, that's all right. You may have heard a little bit of background noise in the end of Matt Burns in his house, but hey, what can you do? We're live. These things happen.
Exactly, and it goes to show that using the power of the internet does occur.
Absolutely.
And having busy lives.
Whatever happened to the good old days, eh? When you were on the internet, it used up the phone line and you couldn't make phone calls at the same time.
No. We're not going back to them days. We're not going back to them days. I just don't know. We're not going back to them.
Hashtag 56k dial-up modem. Yeah, no, let's not go back to them days. Good God, no.
Yeah.
But,
anyway. I know.
I've just reminded myself of a very off-colour joke from Craig Charles, which I will not mention.
Please do not. Do not. But anyway, as we go back onto the subject, there is a personal view on this straight away, because one person who I'm going to be mentioning now, no accusations has been mentioned. However, if they decided to can NXT UK, what would be the terms and conditions in regards to one of the workers who was a heavy talker in regards to mostly only working for NXT UK? Do you know who that wrestler is?
Well, someone who's committed pretty much all their eggs into one basket and pretty much does now only work for NXT UK.
They're mostly focusing on NXT UK, but they have made an occasional NXT appearance. You ready for this?
Would it be the current NXT Tag Team Champions?
No. It would be the current NXT UK Champion.
Aha.
None other than Volta.
Yes, but I'm thinking that the current NXT Tag Team Champions, namely his fellow Imperium cohorts, Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel, are in a similar situation.
They are, but they're not actually.
They also probably don't take many outside bookings.
They are still taking outside bookings themselves. However, Walter is not after the major league run in America, which is part of his contract.
Well, he's not after it. He's not.
Yeah, he is okay with doing the odd occasional one, but I don't think.
Essentially, I don't think he's keen on relocating.
Pretty much.
Due to, having a perfectly settled life in Europe, I think he's Austrian, but I think he lives in Germany, and I don't think he wants to change that.
Pretty much. So in regards to that...
So but as I was saying before the slight interruption on Matt Burns' end, there is a deep enough and strong enough talent pool throughout European wrestling that even if WWE were to literally, torch the building and say everyone who even remotely had an allegation made against them, whether it's true or not, we're going to replace you. There are enough good wrestlers out there that they could be replaced. However, I don't want WWE to do that either.
Yeah.
But they need to keep it going because it's a valuable thing, NXT UK, and it's, I don't want to say irreplaceable because nothing is, but it's fairly close.
Right. We've now got the speaking out. We've now got speaking out done.
Lovely.
I believe this. Well, now a lot of people are saying, why is NXT UK being covered by speaking out? The reason why it's being covered by the speaking out movement is because of the nature of why it could possibly being getting rid of. Now, in regards to that, that's why we stated it's only rumour. But just in case, for future references, We are not stating for the record that it is 100% true or fact or anything in regards to that. Anyway, let's move on to the next subject, because just when we thought that speaking out was the, recently we've been having two major news things ongoing in the damn world. One of them we just covered. Now, unfortunately, the other one has decided to flare up in the world of wrestling.
Would that be the one that we are amazed
My mistake. The third subject, actually. My mistake. Apologies.
All right. Yeah, would this be the one that is affecting the real world outside wrestling and which we're amazed hasn't made a bigger impact far sooner?
Pretty much.
Ye olde global pandemic.
Yeah. None other than the infamous COVID-19. Just when we think we're done talking about it, it comes flying back in.
Yes.
Now, in case everyone is wondering, why are we covering this again in regards to wrestling? Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. The reason why we are covering it is because, check this one out, ladies and gentlemen. This week, WWE are now officially testing for the coronavirus, doing the COVID-19 test, and making sure that everyone doesn't have it.
Now, I know what you're thinking, listeners at home. What do you mean they're now testing? You mean they haven't already been testing for the last 10, 12, 15 weeks while everyone's been on lockdown from it?
Oh dear.
And it would appear that the answer to that is a very resounding and not very reassuring, nope.
They haven't been, which is what's concerning and worrying.
Yes.
And on top of that, what has brought this? Would you like to know what's brought this up?
Please do let me know.
Somebody testing positive for it.
Someone I would imagine reasonably important in the WWE structure.
It wasn't mentioned who, but he was in the audience of a show when WWE were letting members of the public in, which could be also fans, family and friends of workers, but still members of the public.
Yeah.
Oh dear. And on top of that, now they're officially testing. Uh-oh. What's happening right now with the numbers? With the coronavirus numbers?
It's not looking good, because I do believe they're going... What's that handy phrase that probably applies to Aleister Black at the end of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, although they're going up rather than down. Oh yeah, that's it. Through the roof.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Yeah, it's not going well.
Basically, because they're now officially testing, there's been actually more people being labelled positive. Now, I know Wrestle Talk have made jokes that WWE are probably going to be blaming the testing for the cause of it. No, WWE, you should have been testing for it for God knows how long.
Yeah.
And to make it matters even worse because of this, it's basically because of it they've had to stop some of these shows.
Yeah.
The pre-recording episodes, and also stopping allowing members of the public in.
Yes.
Okay. Now,
well, these are all
ready for
things that you would have thought that they wouldn't have been doing anyway, but yeah.
Now, officially on WWE, there haven't been official. Well, unfortunately, there have been members of the workforce for WWE who have been confirming and releasing statements on Twitter, or deleting Twitter because of statements basically stating that they have got the COVID-19.
Yes.
Which I'll name some of them.
Which is unfortunate, but it's better to know that they have got it and wish them well.
Correct. Now, one of them being Kaylee Braxton, who tested positive.
Kayla Braxton, yeah.
Kaylee Braxton, yeah. And she potentially tested positive, but this could be her second bout, which was speculated. But she has deleted Twitter. This might be because of certain higher ups or whatever, or she might have not wanted to go further into it herself. But all we know that she has deleted her Twitter. Jamie Noble has tested positive.
That's really unfortunate.
I believe the third one I'm going to be mentioning, I'm not 100% sure on the name. I believe it's Adam Pearce.
Adam Pearce. Yeah, that was the name I was thinking of.
Yes,
the WWE backstage guy.
Now, the problem
I
is...
confused him with when we were talking before we came on air.
Yes. But... Now, the problem is, with it, Adam Pearce is quite a bit of an important one. Because who does he work with mostly?
NXT, I do believe.
He actually doesn't just work with them. He actually works directly with Bruce Pritchard.
Who is... Sorry, go on.
Vince Kennedy McMahon.
Yes, which is a bit frightening because,
both Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon are classified as vulnerable. Because
obviously, due to being both elderly and...
yeah.
I'm not sure why Bruce Pritchard is, actually, but yes.
I think possibly because of his health and age.
Oh, I didn't know how old he actually was, but that's possible. Fair enough.
Well, taking into account he was Brother Love.
Yeah. I don't think he was quite...
He's not exactly young.
No, that's true. But like I said, I had no idea how old he was. But anyway, we know for a fact that Vince McMahon is no longer a spring chicken, let's be brutally honest. So...
Yeah. Now, as for Bruce Pritchard, it might not be a bad case for him, but it's more so concerning for Vince McMahon. Now, straight away, you think we're done there. Nope, we're not done there, because the next person doesn't just affect WWE.
Oh, no?
It also affects AEW.
Ooh.
And why is that? Oh, look, it's Renee Young. Who had to go out on Twitter and announce, great, I had this week's episode of Backstage cancelled, and now I found out I have actually got COVID-19. What a great way to top off my week.
Dreadful.
Now, because of that, she has been positive in regards to the messages that she's been, getting love back and everything. Now, supposedly, because of that, higher-ups are not exactly massively thrilled with Renee announcing this information. Supposedly.
Oh, yeah, because WWE higher-ups don't seem to like the public finding out about anyone testing positive from the person who's tested positive, which strikes me as odd.
Now, the problem is with this is, a lot of people have been responding back, have not been actual higher-up officials. It has essentially been, fellow wrestlers, workers, friends, family, and everything. Now, there is a rumour going around that supposedly WWE has actually stated it is forbidden for them to announce that they have been tested positive for COVID-19, and that they will release the news, supposedly the news, publicly themselves. Now, the problem with this is that comes across as WWE wanting to get in, be able to cover their rears.
It sounds incredibly controlling to the point of being slightly neurotic.
And what makes it worse is it comes across as WWE as we are protecting our business over other people's lives.
Oh, it certainly does. It comes across as money first, people second, and...
Which is wrong.
Well,
if that is
wrong
case.
On every available level, yes.
Which is why I literally stated, if that was the case. And which is why I stated
Well,
that was...
if it was the case, we would condemn it in the strongest possible terms. But as we say, it's only a rumour, we don't actually know, so...
Correct. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, hang on, how does Renee affect AEW?
Well, I'm sure there are approximately 50% of the audience now going, smug points for me, I know. And the other 50% scratching their heads going, Renee doesn't work for AEW, what the bloody hell are they talking about? So, shall we put those who don't know out of their misery?
Would you kindly?
Renee is... I don't know if they're married yet. Married to a certain quite important AEW personality.
I'm just double checking if they are actually married for you.
Well, I'll let you do that. Well, I just say it's a quite important personality in the AEW business, and it's not Tony Schiavone. Let's just put that out there. It's not anyone like that. No, it's someone more important than that because it is an in-ring competitor.
Mm-hmm.
Not just any in-ring competitor either. No, it's only the freaking world champion.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
And yes, they are married.
Yes, and I only said world champion there because slap my wrists, I was going to call him Dean Ambrose, which he bloody isn't anymore.
He is not Dean fucking Ambrose anymore.
No, he's not. But I can't for the life of me think what his actual name is.
Jon Moxley.
Thank you. Because, I knew that it wasn't Dean Ambrose anymore, which is why I didn't say it, but I just had a complete mental block, and I didn't actually want to say that out loud because, well, quite rightly, people listening would be like, oh, you're a wrestling expert, are you? And you don't even know that? I think not.
Anyway.
But I had a complete mental block, and I couldn't think. Thank you for saving me there, Mr. Burns.
Excellent. Anyway, let's continue on a little bit with that information, because that information, when it got broken, was literally hours before Jon Moxley was meant to be wrestling for AEW.
Yes.
However...
Which, of course, threw a spanner right in that, didn't it?
Luckily enough, it was a non-title match. However, because of it, Jon Moxley sent out a message straight away to Tony Khan, stating that I can't come in due to this, explain the situation. They've said, no worries, we'll change the match, and we've got you covered. And even put out a message stating that Jon Moxley has basically shielded himself deliberately, instead of just going into work and just saying, oh, I should be shielding because my wife's
actually doing the right thing, rather than just, like you say, just going in and saying, well, I should be doing this, but, work comes first. No, people's health comes first, and both he and AEW appreciate this, so it's all good.
However, how they did it was, oh my god, how they changed the match.
Let me guess.
Oh no, it's genius.
Okay, go on.
I actually think it's a stroke of genius, and I want your opinion on this, JB, and members of the public as well. The fact that they switched Jon Moxley, and because this match was going to be basically beat down sort of a worker to make Jon Moxley look good, let's switch it to his opponent for Fyter Fest instead. So Brian Cage is wrestling for him on his, basically wrestling. He's filled the gap. He comes in, kills the the wrestler he's up against, destroys him, and Taz grabs the mic. Oh, the promo that Taz cuts.
Now,
Shots
Taz
fired.
is someone who is still quite spectacularly good on a microphone. I do believe before going to AEW, he did a daily radio broadcast themed around wrestling. I don't know if he still does it every day, or if he scaled it back due to his AEW commitments, but either way, the guy's practiced on, on the mic and saying stuff, so no wonder this promo was money.
Oh, it was money, especially since it's shots fired. It was pretty much shots fired, and you'll see why. He pretty much stated that, hang on, Mox, where the hell are you? shouldn't you be doing this match? Instead, the future AEW champion is filling in for your spot. Like how we should be filling in for, being the champion already. So, you can't even be bothered to turn up with your bull crap excuse. Making out the reason why he's not there is bull crap. Basically implying that he's in the situation because of bull crap reasons. Which some people could say, well, that's part of the storyline. Read between the lines. Is he actually saying it's bull crap because he's in the situation, or is he stating it's bull crap because his wife ended up caught the unfortunate disease due to working for a company that has only just been recently testing?
Oh, I see. You see, I didn't make that connection, but now I have. Yeah, does that ever make perfect sense?
Oh dear.
A company which, by the way, contrary to what I thought at the time, I don't think Taz maybe left on the smoothest of terms with.
No, he didn't. So he might be still firing shots. Whoops.
Fair enough. Well, hey, if it's good for business.
True. But even so, that is the current situation at the moment in time. All testing is currently ongoing. But there is a new schedule for WWE in regards to how that's going forward. But they are going to be continuing on forward.
Oh, okay.
Right. Shall we move on?
Please, let's.
Let's move on to the next topic, which is Impact Wrestling. Oh, good Lord.
Oh, dear me. What is it with that company, eh? And 2 steps forward and 27 back.
I feel sorry for Impact Wrestling at this moment in time.
Okay,
Especially
fair enough.
in regards to the news that we're about to basically mention. It's already been announced throughout this week. 2 wrestlers of Impact Wrestling have been, one has been effectively released and contract terminated, and which I'll mention that, which is Michael Elgin. Now, in case anybody is in regards to it, this is not due to anything to do with potential speaking out, although there has been supposed accusations. But in regards to Michael Elgin, there's also been speculation that there was an argument that he had with Sami Callihan that ended up almost becoming a Pier 6 brawl, and we're not on about the ones that's been on TV. We are on about legit ones. So the question is, has this been occurred? And I believe Michael Elgin did release a statement in regards to it, stating, he's going to be, he is very happy for the time he's been able to have with Impact Wrestling and everything. He's appreciative of the work that he's been provided of and everything. But he's now going to be enjoying some time with his son as well at this time. So he hasn't stated anything in regards to anything negative or anything. But it's a bit of an unusual one. That one, it just seems... It could be, it's just unfortunate how that, in regards to it. But the question is has we don't know the full reason. If it is in regards to anything to do with speaking out, then unfortunately, sorry, but not sorry. That,
Well,
it
sorry, but
it
hasn't been made public that it is, so in our defence, we didn't know, because to all intents and purposes, it isn't.
Now, the biggest shocking news is the next person who has, how do we say?
Everyone's currently the most decorated superstar of all time is now back at the top of the Impact Wrestling mountain. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Impact Wrestling Heavyweight Championship of the World is currently held by that old horse, vacant.
Yes, unfortunately, Tessa Blanchard has been stripped of the Impact World Championship and her contract effectively terminated immediately.
Now, We know that since the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic, she has been basically in quarantine where she lives in. Yes, okay, because was distracted before I started talking this, and I was looking at a Formula One meme. I nearly said Monaco. What I of course mean is Mexico. Big difference between those two places. I am aware.
Just a little bit.
Mexico,
Just a little bit.
Where she lives, she has been quarantined there, and from all accounts has made no attempt to, even from the account that I read on the internet, has made no attempt to send in any of the promo videos she was asked to either hype up or make excuses for why she wasn't going to be at the match in question.
Yeah.
And as a result, the company have basically gone, well, you know what, if you can't be bothered, I don't see why we should.
And on top of that, it's because also at the same time, there's been massive rumours and speculation and allegations thrown towards her way before even everything had been ongoing as well, especially due to certain allegations that were pressed forward that she has denied. There are still people who have been pushing that them allegations are true as such in regards to bullying and other stuff as well. Now,
Yes.
we are not stating that as fact. We are just stating that as...
We are just saying the rumours are out there, and we have no idea we have no idea of their veracity, how accurate they are, but nonetheless, as far as we know at this stage,
And
that's a separate cloud hanging overhead, and that has nothing to do with an actual dismissal.
Correct. And
as far as we're aware.
And on top of that, we're definitely we don't want to be throwing caution to the wind.
Well,
especially in this topic,
we do want to be throwing caution to the wind. We don't want to be potentially throwing, fuel on the fire.
Basically, we don't want to be taking any high risk chances that could end up biting us.
Yeah,
because we've been misinformed or
no.
not been aware of certain.
So these are the situations as we know them at the moment. So that's all we can safely say.
Now we've got your piece of information that you wanted to discuss, didn't we? Which is in regards to the WWE Cruiserweight Championship.
Oh yes.
Oh, the interim.
The interim WWE the interim NXT Cruiserweight Championship.
Yes.
To be precise. Essentially, a bit of good news for Mr. Matt Burns.
Yes!
Because the superstar, who is currently NXT Interim Cruiserweight Champion, used to have a name that Matt Burns couldn't pronounce.
Well, I could.
Turns out he doesn't anymore.
No, I could pronounce after God knows how many attempts.
Yes. The good news is El Hijo de Fantasma is no longer what he's called.
And before you even state it, I am not repeating that because I will butcher that name.
However, you can say the name he has decided to now operate under.
Yes, I can.
So would you like to give it to the listeners?
And why do I feel like I'm now just going to flop it?
Because that's what's known as...
It's the build-up.
Yeah.
It's the build-up. It is Santos Escobar.
Yes. Which means he is now without a mask and no longer El Hijo de Fantasma, which means Mr. Matt Burns breathes an awesome sigh of relief.
Yes, I do.
Because he never has to trip over that ever again.
Good Lord. Just take into account, I have to be careful with that with Dijakovic.
Dominic Dijakovic?
Yes, Dominic Dijakovic.
You see, the thing with that is he insists it's Dijakovic, but he also insists he has Croatian heritage, which means if he actually understood it, he'd know that it's Dijakovic. But hey, I'm not splitting hairs.
I see what you did there. But anyway, let's continue on, shall we? We know about that. However, here comes the additional news that we didn't... Because I've actually found another topic we need to cover.
Oh, good Lord, as if we haven't been busy enough today. Okay, go on, what is it?
The first piece, and this is news, this is going to be a topic that a lot of people are going to notice the change of attitude from mostly myself, or probably through my colleague JB, especially towards one wrestler who has been very pointed out and almost across all damn 3 cross brands of WWE.
Oh no.
We've got to cover it.
Not. Surely you don't mean.
Yes. Breathe.
Yes.
There's a reason why we've got to. No. There's a reason why we've got to cover it.
Let's just cover the good news first.
It's not good news.
Said person is no longer NXT Women's Champion.
Yes, which we know about.
But the bad news is possibly why that came about.
It's not about why it's come about. Potentially.
Well, no, but I'm just thinking potentially.
It could be a reason.
They might have been aware, and that might be why the switch was made. Who knows? But anyway,
it could be the reason, or there is also speculation that some people are saying is that the reason, and some people are saying is it Nia Jax who's done it, or has WWE involved Nia Jax to sort of cover and protect Charlotte as well.
Who knows?
Now,
all we know is Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
We need to mention this, is out injured until when?
Possibly
2027?
Royal Rumble of next year.
Well, that's that telegraphed then, isn't it?
It's not telegraphed. That is when she could possibly come back.
No, that's completely telegraphed the 2021 Royal Rumble then, because we know who's winning that now, don't we?
If she does come back for the event.
Yes.
If. Now, the problem with that is I know that a lot of both myself and JB have said we don't want to keep seeing Charlotte Flair. We don't want to keep seeing it all over. It's Charlotte fucking Flair.
We don't want her across all 3 brands. For God's sake, there are other women in the company. Is it not possible you could book some of them? But at the same token, that doesn't mean we wish,
Any
misfortune on her in any way. No.
Not at all. And unfortunately, she's now injured, which we, condolences on the injury, and we hope she actually does have a speedy recovery.
Yes.
And that WWE do actually consider rethinking her booking.
Yes.
Because a lot of people are going to say, but she needs to be seen more, The problem with this is where I'm going to be pointing out a little bit of information here for WWE. There might be a reason why she's ended up getting injured. And why is that?
And at least part of it might be, overwork.
A little bit. No.
But hey, anyway, we wish her nothing but well and a speedy recovery. And don't get me wrong on that, because we genuinely do. But hey, other women in WWE, she's not there for 9 months. Now it's time to shine.
Yeah. And the next piece, which I do not believe that we almost missed this off. We generally almost missed this off.
This is us. I do believe that we almost missed it. But the thing is, we didn't miss it. So
it's a vital one.
Cool.
And I'm going to be stating this. # thank you, Taker.
Yes. Because, according to the current latest news,
it's not news. It's actually mentioned as part of the documentary that is actually on WWE Network right now, which was part of the Undertaker Last Ride.
But yeah, the legendary 30-year career of the Undertaker
has come to an end.
Indeed.
Now, part of me is saddened, but also happy.
Yes.
And a lot of people saying, why are you happy? You shouldn't be. It's the Undertaker. You shouldn't retire. I'm happy.
No, we're happy simply because he's bowed out on his terms.
Yes.
He hasn't been medically forced to retire. He hasn't carried on chasing as though he's like, I've got to have one more match. I've got to have one more good match. He's looked at it.
It was getting there.
Yeah, but he's looked at it and gone, nah, do you know what? I'm happy. I don't ever have to step foot in the ring again, and good for him. May he
However,
enjoy his bloody well-earned retirement.
correct. However, Undertaker did also state, unless Vince McMahon was desperate and did need him, he would consider it.
He would consider returning, yes.
Now, all I will state is, Vince, please don't just pull him back because of low ratings.
Literally, if the only option you have is him or you in a match, Vince, yeah, maybe get him back. But beyond that, if there is anyone else that can do it instead, resist, please.
Please. Because Undertaker has been chasing his golden match, and oddly, in his final 2 matches, he got it.
Yes, absolutely.
In his final 2 matches. Because if anybody, and sorry for the spoilers, yes, this is something that's been released for a little bit. Yes. I believe it was actually officially announced last week. We just hadn't watched the actual, we didn't actually watch it.
Yeah.
Which was the fact that Undertaker almost actually didn't even retire at WrestleMania.
Yes.
He almost retired at Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules?
Extreme Rules was almost his last match.
Yes.
And the scary thing about it is, the documentary actually covers it.
Yep.
The whole match and everything. You got Michael Cole on the commentary saying, "We have never seen Undertaker this good in all of his career. He's been absolutely phenomenal, dominant." And he was. He then got in the back, and this is part of the documentary. He leans into Vince McMahon and literally said, "That's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
It's not there." And it's only because of a podcast. He did the podcast with Steve Austin.
A combination of that, yeah, they hinted at.
He hinted.
Hints in the other episodes of the documentary of his admiration for a certain person.
There was, but at the same time, he literally paused and sort of just went. And as soon as this person saw us, he just went, no. If I can get this match, I will be humbled. If I can be one of the final matches, I will be humbled. And he threw his chance in. And then as soon as he got his chance, he went all out. And I can honestly say, I could not be more proud of the entire feud and the match that he had with AJ. Yeah. All I'll say to you is, in regards to their view in regards to it and what came about, please watch that documentary if you can.
Yes.
Please. And on top of that, not only was it absolutely brilliant, this is how big WWE was. As you might have mentioned, might have overheard, that some of the matches, certain parts of certain recordings for certain Raw and SmackDowns ended up being cancelled or having to be adjusted due to a certain, outbreak at WWE.
Yeah.
Now, because of that, this week WWE already had technically almost a highlight clip show, which was a tribute to the Undertaker, which Undertaker is massively deserving of. Is a worker who has worked his rear end off, and I believe he is looking into the next phase of his journey, and he is wanting to help the next generation.
Yes, absolutely. So is he now, do we think, going to take up a role alongside Shawn Michaels?
I think he is, because
NXT?
In the documentary, there's even footage of him actually turning up to NXT to assist them.
Oh my goodness me, can you imagine the next generation being able to just pick the brains of The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels? How can they not just benefit immensely from that.
And believe
It's
me,
almost making me jealous.
Yeah, and believe me when I say this, Undertaker is wholeheartedly honest in that documentary. I highly recommend it, and do not know how real it was. Taker at the start of the documentary didn't even think he was going to be announcing his retirement.
There you go.
At all. He literally stated it at the end. He goes, "I never even thought, when I started this, I didn't even think that this was going to be the end. I thought it was going to still be going after this documentary." The documentary it goes across a lot, and I highly recommend it, 100%.
And I haven't actually watched the last episode yet, so guess what I'm going to be doing as soon as we finish today?
100%. There are a lot of people who speak fondly of Taker throughout his entire career, and believe me when I say this, all I'll say to you is, he even mentioned some certain talks he had with Shawn about him regretting not going with him at the same time.
Yes.
But then again, during that time when he was doing that, he had just gone through some Saudi shows.
Yes.
Oh dear. But anyway, it is absolutely massively amazing. Highly recommend it. Undertaker's Last Ride. Please check it out.
Absolutely. Can't recommend it enough. And while we're on the subject, tangentially linked to that, also, it's not called the Stone Cold Podcast anymore. Is it called Broken Skull Sessions?
Broken Skull Ranch Sessions, I think is something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah, which is on the network.
With the broadcast between Steve Austin and The Undertaker. Equally illuminating and equally worth a watch. Or
definitely.
I was going to say a listen because it's technically a podcast, but there's a video as well, so worth a watch.
Yeah, definitely. And you've also got ones with Big Show on as well.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. Highly recommend.
Indeed. And that comes from both of us.
And I believe that would be it for this week, would it? Would it not?
I think so, yeah. I mean, that's a hell of a lot to take in, so I think we should probably wrap it up there and hope, against hope, that everything quietens down a bit and next week, we get to maybe be a bit more light-hearted and not just have to react to loads of news because let's hope there won't be quite as much.
Well, yeah, it's certainly going to be a unusual week. But anyway, as such, but that aside, I think that's going to be it for the news for this week. Shall we? Actually, in regards to next week, we were considering returning to our regular scheduled programming, but we were originally going to be mentioning some of the topics, but I've decided to just scrap. We've decided to scrap that. And just go. We'll just see what comes at us in any big news. If not, we'll most likely have a topic at the very least to discuss.
Yes, we will have something to talk about if there is no major news like there has been out absolutely everywhere this week. But we won't. Yeah, we won't mention what the topic is in advance because that seems, on the evidence of recent weeks, to be tempting fate to have us have to come on and go, sorry, but we're not talking about that this week because this has happened instead.
Yes.
We kind of don't want to do that anymore.
True. But anyway, however, there is topics that you've wanted to discuss, which was, I believe, entrance music, so we could potentially talk about that. Discussions about our thoughts on Bruce Pritchard running Raw and SmackDown with Paul Heyman being let go. There's also, speculations of, we can have it. Here's one topic I want to discuss: wrestlers who had terrible debuts.
That's something that we could discuss. Absolutely.
And the scary thing about it is, certain people who have debuted in the WWE have been actual iconic wrestlers as well.
Yes. That's something we can definitely discuss in future weeks. Something I would like to possibly talk about in the next couple of weeks, because it has been news, but it has kind of just been usurped by everything else, is a certain Mr. Vincent Kennedy McMahon deciding to be more hands-on with NXT. because there's a touchy subject if ever there was one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But that
True.
and all the other things we've talked about, plus anything else that might come up in the future. But for now, I think. Sorry to have to ask this like mid-broadcast because I should have done it before we started. But plugs now.
Plugs? Yeah, certainly.
Are you doing
certainly.
them? Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
we will be doing them. And I'll just jump onto the plugs right now, which will be, please check out UKWA, which, you know, I'm just doing that just for the need, because at the moment, yes, wrestling is on a hold at the moment in time. However, we do recommend you check out your local wrestling promotions, but we'll get more onto that a bit more later. For photography needs, we recommend you check out Tony Knox, Jessica Servo Photography, Kerry Swift. They do absolutely amazing photography. At the moment, I'm not sure if they'll be required as of yet, but if you need any filmography needs as such, BA Productions and SW Video absolutely do amazing work. We of course also recommend you check out charitable organisations like Changes for Health and Wellbeing, Changes Recovery Radio, Mind, Messy for Mind, Donna Louise Hospice Care for Children and Young People, Cancer Research UK, because all the information that they do provide out. And I believe that Lucy Openshaw has also released a website that is to do with mental health for wrestling as such, which I'll hopefully try to get the links for that next week, so we can actually mention Alex. And I will state the website that she has done is absolutely amazing, because it does actually point out to many charitable organisations that do actually prove massively useful. We of course also recommend you check out the lighter side of wrestling by checking out none other than Botchamania, WrestleCrap and OSW Review. You're welcome, Matthew.
Nice one, RD.
And of course, OSW Review lads. We of course also recommend you check out Pull or Pass radio show, hosted by none other than Magic Mark Adams. We also recommend you check out his other podcast as such, which is none other than Don't Say the C Word. Yes, it has actually had a short hiatus.
Yep, but one of the back episodes does feature a certain Mr. M. Burns.
And I'm not just no. I'm not just stating to watch it because of that. I'm actually stating to watch it because it's absolutely entertaining.
I'm merely saying it's very entertaining, and for you to mention that you run it yourself is grandstanding of the highest order. But there's nothing wrong with me doing it.
I see what you did there. I see what you did. But anyway, we of course, and let me just state this for the record, we of course also recommend you check out We the Independent with an IE and not a Y. And a lot of people are saying, "Well, why have we mentioned them?"
Well, because they are. How can we put this? Bigger than the sum of their parts.
Correct. And David Starr is no longer is no longer associated with We the Independent.
But the rest of the people that are still doing something which is worth checking out. So let's focus on that.
Correct. And one of them being none other than Sugar Duncanton, also known as Pineapple Pete, of AEW.
Yes.
But yeah, of course, I also recommend you check out Think Wrestling, especially the Talking Wrestling interview segment, which is hosted by none other than Tom Baker. I believe they have actually been on a short hiatus at this moment in time. This is current situations.
Yeah, their pandemic thing, what seems to be killing everything.
But at the same time, I believe he's also having some mental health time off as well, which
understandable
potentially in regards to it. But let's just take this as soon. I highly recommend you check out some of his previous work as well, even if he hasn't got anything new, because even the previous stuff is absolutely brilliant and very much watchable. Highly recommend it.
Absolutely.
I, of course, also recommend you check out Hatred Theory, where if you've got some anger that you need to get off your chest, or just to listen out, you've got some rage, to get off, check them out, because believe me when I say this, they are absolutely entertaining, funny as hell, and believe me, straight after, you will not be raging because you'll be too busy laughing.
Oh, and speaking of rage, that seems like too good a segue to pass up. If you would like to get in touch via any of the Burning Truth social media, to say congratulations or commiserations or you old git, it's Matt Burns' 57th birthday tomorrow, everyone. So,
you son of a git!
Use all of the social media that you can to wish him a happy birthday, to ask him when he's starting to claim his old age pension, to tell him he looks good for his age, whatever you like. But it's his birthday tomorrow, so he didn't want me to mention that.
You
Sorry,
son of a git!
And now he's angry. See what I did there? Good link.
Oh, good lord. This is going to be really wrong right now.
57th birthday tomorrow. I know he doesn't look his age. It's the hair.
It's not 57.
It's the luxuriant buffon. It's the hair. That's what makes him look younger.
I will be 33. However, because you just timed that so perfectly, you've actually given me a segue.
Hey, I'm quite good at my job. What can I tell you?
You've inadvertently given me a segue because somebody else had their birthday recently.
Yep.
Who is a wrestler.
Ooh.
None other than Regan.
Nice.
And I will state, I believe
UKWA regular.
Yes, he even had some colleagues and friends send out messages to Luke Gallows and Christopher Daniels, who actually did a cameo for them to basically say happy birthday and wish him joy and everything. However, I also recommend you check out his YouTube channel as well. Regan Ramblings.
Regan Rambles or Ramblings or possibly both.
Highly recommend it. The man is entertaining and funny as hell.
Well, there you go.
Highly recommend it. Of course, we also recommend you check out Kayfabe Music. They actually have amazing music. You know how good it is? The theme music that we use for The Burning Truth. Yeah, say more.
Yes. That say no more. That's one of theirs, and you can get your own bespoke piece of music at reasonable rates.
And it's currently on a discount at the moment in time during the pandemic.
What more excuse do you need?
Of course, we also recommend you check out, for all wrestling needs, of course, Turnbuckle TV. And why is that?
Well, what? Apart from because it's just $3.99 a month for over 35 wrestling promotions. Okay, none of whom are currently putting new content out, but who have plenty of back catalogues between them to keep you entertained if the pandemic goes on for pretty much the rest of the year.
Hell, they've also been actually adding even on broadcast and podcast material.
Ooh.
I wonder if we should.
So I think that the approach should be made there somehow, but hey.
It could be a possibility.
I'll leave that up to Matt Burns because that might be another outlet for you to get the burning truth. Who knows?
It could be another. But anyway, generally, they have actually got that much content on there. Even the free content is absolutely amazing going out there. But the fact is, you get plenty of wrestling for just, $3.99? Which is almost £1 a week.
Just under £1 a week. What else can you get for £1 in this day and age? I'll tell you.
And
note.
If the month is actually a 5-week month, it's even less.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's a winner. Literally, like I said, nothing else is that good a value because even Netflix isn't that cheap.
Exactly. And believe me when I say this, there's that much content on there. We highly recommend it. And if you wanted to throw in an extra £2 as such, you can also get additional content on top of it, linked with the Wrestle Talk guys.
As well. There you go. Because if there wasn't enough video content, you get audio content as well.
Audio and visual as well. There's that much on there. It's unbelievable. But we, of course, also recommend you check out your local promotions. Just case in point, I believe Future Championship Wrestling, United Wrestling, Pro Wrestling for You, Future Shock Wrestling, Academy Pro Wrestling, Fallen Star Wrestling, Venom Wrestling Federation, Slam Wrestling, Wolf and Pro Wrestling. Any more?
Let's see. Progress Wrestling, Preston City
Oh,
Wrestling.
actually, be careful with Progress Wrestling at the moment in time. However, they have just recently changed their management at this moment in time.
I see. Well, anyway, irrespective of what happens going forward, back catalogue still well worth checking out.
100%. 100%.
If you are not sure if there is a wrestling promotion local to you, don't forget there's also a absolutely free way that you can find out.
And would this be on a mobile app?
It certainly would. And I would just like to point out, it's free. Did I say that?
It is. It's free, which is none other than, it's called Babyface Wrestling app. Highly recommended.
And as well as your local promotions, you can also follow wrestlers. Hint, Matt Burns is on there. Hint. See, it's fine if I say it, but you can't plug yourself.
Why is it... What? How?
Look, them's just the rules. You can't do
I'm not saying it. I'm just saying
self-promotion, but there's nothing to stop me saying follow
I
Matt
appreciate
Burns,
it.
give his ego a boost.
Really?
Well,
I
he is
still
old.
appreciate
Come on.
it. Really?
57 tomorrow.
No, 33. Get your facts right.
Sorry, my mistake. 67.
There's only going to be 33 candles. Don't you dare.
How big's the goddamn cake?
I thought you were going to do something else then.
I really had to bite my tongue not to. That was the only thing I could come up with in short notice, so I didn't. Okay.
I was actually expecting something else.
Yes, but I tried really hard not to. So don't make me. Let's move on.
Let's move on, shall we? Good Lord. That would have been a rage-inducing moment. But anyway, let's move on.
Yes.
Please check out the Burning Truth website, which is www.theburningtruthuk.com. The website is currently going to be getting some updates very shortly soon, just to point out. And hopefully I believe some links have actually been removed on there, but there is some new ones that will be popping up on there shortly. Just also additionally to mention as well. But just to point out as well, we cannot be held responsible for any external links as we do not have control over them.
Yep.
And on top of that, please follow our social media, which we are on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. And of course, you can listen to past episodes either on the website, be it either through Spreaker, Spotify, Podcast Deezer, I believe also iTunes as well, and many, many additional sources. I know that it's almost to the point where we can almost just literally state where you can get all your... Would you care to finish that off?
You can literally almost, cheesy American voiceover voice time, you can literally almost say, listen now to The Burning Truth, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Cha-ching! Anyway.
Yeah, we're nearly there. I reckon if you, get your finger out and get that email sent to Turnbuckle TV, we can officially say that.
There is that, but there is additional one that I have just recently attempted to acquire as well. That's only just come up this week as well. Which
well, that's a work in progress. But as you can see, sooner or later we will be available in as many places as it's possible to be. But for now, we think the list that it currently is available on is enough.
Yeah, pretty much. But anyway, that's a wrap up for this week. And however, right now we're going to go straight into the mental health segment, which is, how do we say this? It's okay to be to be not okay.
That's the one. Yeah.
Asking for help isn't a weakness.
Correct.
You could end up finding out you're more cared for than you could ever know, and that message could not be speaking more louder than clear right now, especially in regards to the hashtag speaking out.
Absolutely.
And the amazing quote from Tom Campbell still stands, which is, never compare your behind the scenes to other people's greatest hits.
Stands, and in current light is stronger than ever.
And the quote that we debuted last week is also massively still valid to this day, especially with people who are volunteering and helping out a lot, which is, make yourself a priority once in a while. It's not selfish. It's necessary.
Exactly. And I think on that note, that pretty much sums everything up for this week.
That it does. So with all of that being said, I hope you all stay well, stay safe, and until the next episode, we hope you check out your local wrestling promotions, send out any messages to any family, loved ones, or anyone who you've not spoken to in a while. And, for this week, I've been Matt Burns.
I've been John Bloor.
And thank you very much for listening to The Burning Truth. Until then, catch you later. Until next week, catch you later.
Ta-ta for now. Ta-ta for now.